Ah, summertime. The sun is out, the bees are getting laid, and I most definitely am not. I think there was a small bit of baby carrot in my teeth. We're gonna ignore that. If you're anything like me, summertime brings along with it the sudden and uncontrollable urge to obtain a bunch of cute, flirty little floral print, vintage-inspired dresses to wear on romantic dates I will probably never go on, go out to bars, which in New York probably will never open again at this rate, and frolic in Italian fields that would probably just give me really bad allergies. Anyways, today I decided I would take things into my own hands, dust off the old sewing machine, and see if I couldn't sew myself my own little summer wardrobe out of some thrifted clothing that I bought back when you could go outside, which is anywhere between 3 months and 17 years ago. I don't have a sense of time anymore. I don't know if I'm real or if I'm just a bunch of pixels on the internet. And on that note, let's sew some dresses. Alright, first on the chopping block, we've got this vintage dress that I picked up because of this ruffle detail around the collar and the bell sleeves. When I'm thrifting stuff, I always look for cool sleeves since I really don't know how the whole attaching a sleeve to the dress thing works. I tried to sew a sleeve once from scratch in middle school. It didn't work out on my first try. I was subsequently very confused because I was told I was a gifted and talented child and expected to be good at everything the first time I tried it. Never learned to deal with failure and have never sewn a sleeve since. So that seems healthy. I've been wearing this dress with a scarf tied around the waist to cinch it in, but I wanted to alter it into something a little more summery. So to figure out the game plan, I always try on the dress and kind of drape it and shape it till I see a silhouette that I like. Also, here's a clip of me casually grabbing my boob and then realizing I'm not recording that type of video. Sometimes it's just comforting to have a hand on your boob. I don't know what to tell you. So anyways, here is a sketch of what I wanted the dress to look like. A little baby doll dress with a ruffled waistline, fit for both getting kidnapped by pirates in the 18th century and breaking Pete Davidson's heart. To start, I approximated where I wanted the new waistline to be and marked that with a safety pin. Oh. And I did the same thing with the bottom of the dress, pulling it up because I wanted to preserve the existing hem, so I'm just gonna like cut the middle section out of the dress, if that makes sense. So here, I'm doing just that, leaving an inch or two for seam allowance. To create a ruffled waistline, I'm gathering some thick elastic and cutting a piece that fits snugly around my underboob area. I pinned the elastic evenly around the skirt, and as I sew, I'm making sure to keep even tension on the elastic, spacing out the ruffle workload evenly to make sure the elastic doesn't, you know, spend 3 years in college pulling all-nighters and then snap one day when it's 22 and go 3 weeks without posting a video because time has melted away and nothing seems real. Don't you hate it when elastic does that? After attaching the elastic, I hemmed the edge of the ruffle that was sticking out, which definitely would have been easier to do before I sewed on the elastic, but I was distracted thinking about how I was going to pay off millions of dollars of consumer debt to my overlord, Tom Nook. Next, it was time to figure out how the hell to attach the top to the bottom of the skirt.
If I want the ruffles on the outside and its right sides together, then but I want the top to be inside the elastic. I'm gonna flip it inside out.
I got it. It's not a sound effect, by the way. That's actually the 7 o'clock cheer, which for a fact was designed for me personally, for all of New York to congratulate my sewing skills. Woo! I'm really bad at this. Back at the sewing machine, I sewed all the way around to attach the top to the skirt and trimmed off the excess. For my final step, I had this pearl button left over from the part of the top that I trimmed off, so I just hand stitched it onto one of the ruffles for a little extra detail. And here is the before and after. It's very Ariana Grande meets small child from a horror movie chic, if I may say so myself. And because I have fallen down the TikTok hole and I can't get up, here's an unnecessary self-indulgent montage of me asserting that I'm the main character in a historical A24 drama.
Joy and pleasure to millions of music lovers.
in love with.
Why did I think this was a good idea?
Our next candidate for heavy mutilation is this maxi skirt. I really liked the dark floral print, and it already fit my waist perfectly, so it was a good base to create a mini skirt and little top set.
Oh my goodness.
So as always, I started by trying on the skirt to see how short I wanted to hem it. I like to call this length, wow, I love to be catcalled, strange old men on the street. You are the reason I dress like this, because I love it and can't get enough. Next, I trimmed the skirt, making sure the butt side was about an inch longer because I have learned the hard way that I've got to account for this incredibly thick, juicy, voluptuous, out-of-control ass. Otherwise, it'll kind of ride up and be too short on the backside. Anyways, I real simple pinned down the hem and sewed it. I like to do quite a thick hem on skirts, like around an inch, because I think it looks cleaner that way. Okay, so this is what the little mini skirt looks like. I think it looks pretty cute. The hem looked a little puffy, but my apartment is so small that I don't own an ironing board, or a microwave for that matter. So I squashed the skirt under an overpriced side table and let it sit for 8 to 10 hours or until golden brown and a fork comes out clean. After sewing the skirt, I realized I had a bunch of fabric left over, and like my mother always said when she literally made me eat expired clumpy yogurt so we wouldn't have to throw it out, waste not, want not. Ashley, you goddamn stupid child, why do you keep buying so much fruit on the bottom yogurt and then forgetting to eat it? Also, your father is clinically depressed. Good luck dealing with those genetics when you get older. Despite making a very chic 2011 style infinity scarf, I figured it would make an even cuter crop top.
Oh god, why do I look like a fucking vintage couch? To be honest, I don't have a whole lot of experience sewing articles of clothing from scratch. Really, the last time I sewed anything from scratch was like middle school, and it came out really, really bad, so I never wore it. But there is no time like quarantine to start learning very tedious tasks that take a lot of time. After draping a couple silhouette options, I settled on this boob ravioli held up by 2 fettuccinis. Why did I slip into a little bit of a New York accent there? I don't know. New York, baby. That's not how they sound. God. New York, baby. New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. I'm walking here. New York. Got 2 raviolis and a fettuccine. You get the point. To create it, I'm cutting a rectangle about 2 torsos long and about 1 to 3 penises wide, depending on how much he's lying, pinned down and hemmed the unfinished long edge. Then I cut 2 elastics that fit snugly around my underboob region. I feel like the ladies at Victoria's Secret when they aggressively tell you that you're wearing the wrong bra size. Surprise, bitch! You're a 34 AA. Ow! God. To create the ruched effect, I used the same technique as before, pulling the elastic as I sewed so when it scrunched back up, it'd be nice and ruffly like a good barbecue potato chip. Yes, I did write that joke while I was sober, and thought it sounded funny on paper. I folded right sides together and sewed along the edge to create a tube top. For the straps, in my never-ending attempt to avoid sewing as many hems as possible, I trimmed the hem off from the remaining scrap of fabric and cut it into 4 even pieces, and attached them to my tube top, making sure that they were kind of far out from the center for that kind of 90s-inspired, straight neckline, straps almost in your armpits look. I don't know, I think it's cute. Hi! Okay, this is what it's looking like so far. Pretty good, but actually, let me show you with shorts real quick. So originally for the top, I had only included 2 pieces of elastic because I wanted this little like baby doll flared out silhouette at the bottom, but I kind of miscalculated how much fabric I would need to fully create that like flared out peplum effect, and I feel like it just kind of goes straight down. It doesn't look as dramatic as I want. It just kind of goes like, you know what I mean? I think it looks cute with shorts, but when I put on this skirt, smooth transition. You can't actually see where the bottom of the top ends, so it kind of just creates this extra bulk around my waistline, and I don't think it's the most flattering. So I have 1 last piece of elastic. I'm just gonna sew it around the bottom like I did for the other 2 sections so that it just like cinches this part in, and then I'll have a nice defined waistline.
And with that, my sexy vintage couch cosplay is complete. I am actually quite proud of how this turned out, although I do wish the bows on the shoulder were a little bit longer and more drapey, so they were more dramatic, and I could also smack my enemies from a safe, socially distanced 6-foot distance. I do like how the set looks together, but I think they honestly look even better as separates, especially the top with jeans. I think it feels very cool girl, because as you can tell, I am the coolest. Anyways, here is my final unnecessary modeling montage in which I was stress sweating balls because I was afraid I was going to fall to a slow and painful death off my fire escape, or worse, drop my camera. And last but not least, I'm going to alter this wearable version of my British grandmother's wallpaper. May she and her collection of hundreds of honestly kind of terrifying ceramic collectible figurines rest in peace. So my original idea was to pretty much recut the entire dress into a square neckline mini dress, but as I thought about it more, I realized that this fabric is kind of thin and floppy, so it wouldn't hold the structure of the skirt the same way that something more stiff like linen would. So instead, I decided to work with the drapey nature of the fabric and do a ruched mini skirt, keeping the shoulder pads and going for a kind of 80s inspired silhouette. So first thing on the agenda was taking in the sides. I tried on the dress inside out and pinned along the seams until everything was snug, then sewed along those lines. I also sewed up the front of the dress so the V-neck line would be a bit higher, which I don't really know if you can tell because this is just a blob of inside-out fabric, but I promise it'll make sense once I try it on. I messed up. I gotta redo this one. I sewed over some of the other fabric accidentally, so it looks really messy. One entire loaf of late night garlic bread and a can of angry water later, I was ready to get back to it. I seam ripped out some bits, re-sewed some bits, tried it on, kept adjusting until I got this fit that I was really happy with. Next, to create the bodycon mini skirt, I needed to start by taking away some of the bulk from this skirt. I realized if I ruched it up just like this, it would be really bulky and awkward and there was just too much fabric. I basically ended up sewing a straight line down both sides of the skirt and trimmed off quite an aggressive amount of fabric, and that left me with a more straight up and down skirt that would be the perfect base to create the ruching detail. To create the ruching, start by turning the stitch length to the number of times you've cried alone inside a McDonald's. Yes, that is 5 3/4. Don't ask about the 3/4. And sew all the way up the front of the skirt, making sure not to backstitch at the beginning or end so the ends are nice and loose like the case around Jeffrey Epstein's supposed suicide. Then repeat that, sewing another line right next to that one. I left mine about a 1/4 inch spaced apart. And when you flip the fabric over and pull on the bobbin threads, which are the bottom ones, it'll all gather together. Okay, I messed up a little bit. I didn't bring the gathers high enough. I thought I wanted them to start around the hip, when in reality, I think I actually need them to start at the waist, so that there's a proper definition between the top bodice section, which is fitted, and the bottom, which is gathered. So I'm gonna have to rip this out and redo it, but we do have proof of concept. And I also really like how this fabric looks with the gathers in it, so I'm excited. 4 gathers later, here is what the skirt looked like. For some reason, the back kind of looked like I took a giant shit in a diaper, so I took a hand needle and created a mini ruche. Is that the singular version of ruching? A ruchette? That sounds like an Italian snack. Sounds like an Italian... Nope, I'm not gonna do it again. I'm sorry, Italians, if I have offended you and your culture. Anyways, I made a little ruche thingy at the top of the butt, which honestly still kind of looks like I took a shit, but a slightly smaller shit, so I will take it. Now, for some reason, the sleeves were kind of uneven. I think the dress was originally handmade, so they accidentally sewed one of the sleeves on backwards. But regardless, I trimmed the sleeves so they were even and held on for dear life while I tried to sew a double rolled hem, which is my nemesis. I don't know how people sew these without looking like a small dog kind of tore up the edge of your hem. Mine are always really messy, but we're gonna ignore that. Anyways, my final step was reattaching the lace into this little Peter Pan collar shape. Luckily, it pretty much already came in that shape. I just had to trim a little excess off the end and pop in a couple stitches by hand. And here is how the final product turned out. If I may tickle my own incredibly fragile ego for a moment, I really love how it turned out. I think it looks really expensive and unique, and has only served to worsen my main character syndrome. But I'm not mad about it. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Hopefully I'll be able to do more thrift flips once thrift stores open up again. I have never been more excited to go to a fucking thrift store, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!